Yeah. Good evening, everyone. So we have today with us Mr. Dr. Jairaj Nair. He's from Welingkar, Bangalore. He's the HOD at Welingkar, Bangalore. And we have been having Mr. Jairaj as a guest in our channel for last 2 to 3 years. And he has been addressing the CAT aspirant on how to prepare for interview process and then how exactly to select a B school per se. So at this point of time, most of you students will be confused about what exactly they need to do after the CAT, right? So the CAT response sheets are out, but not the results are not yet out. So you might be in a confusion as to what calls you might get, what exactly you will be doing. Should you prepare for OMETs or should you prepare for GDPI? And Mr. Jairaj, who has a vast experience in this field, and he has been heading Welingkar Bangalore, and he's here to clear all your doubts for today, right? So a very hearty welcome, sir.
Thank you.
And so let's just get started. So the current scenario is that CAT exam is done, right? The response sheet has come, and most of the students have a fair idea of what exactly, not some idea of what their percentiles might be, right? So there is still confusion on like what calls they might get, they might not get. So at this point of time, what do you think the students should be doing? Should they be preparing for GDPR, or should they wait for the calls to come and then prepare for GDPI? What exactly should be the process for the students?
Okay, Shrikant, before I answer this question, okay, one small correction. See, I head the e-business, PGDM e-business program in Bangalore campus. Okay, the head of the campus is Dr. Madhuri Lokhande in Bangalore. Okay, I thought I'll just make a small correction. And regarding your question, now coming back to your question, see, there is nothing now. Now you guys have a fair understanding of where you stand, right, in terms of the percentiles, because the marks have not been declared. But as we said, you have a fair idea right now. So I think it's a good time now not to waste time and go ahead and start your preparations for GDPI. Because see, what will happen is these marks will be circulated across the country, and you will start getting calls from a lot of colleges, right? So do not wait for the last minute, because just in case you got a call from a good college and you have decided to wait some more time, then maybe you'll not be rightly prepared for the GDPI process. So it's a good idea not to waste time and just to go ahead and start your preparations from now itself.
Okay. So you have mentioned that students should start right away, right? So let's say if I'm starting now today, what should be my process for preparing for GDPI?
Okay, if you just want to know the roadmap, okay, maybe see, now I do, for the past maybe 2.5 decades, I've been conducting a lot of such GDPIs across the country. So I'll talk to you from the perspective of an interviewer. Okay, what is it that we try to find out from the students when we meet them, right? So there are a few very important things which you guys need to understand. Let me start with the group discussion first. Okay. Now, why are we having the group discussion, right? See, as a manager, when you go to the field, you're not going to be a lone wolf, which means you're not going to work in isolation. You'll have to work in a team, right? And it gets very difficult because you have people from all parts of the country, from all parts of the world, different races, different culture, different religions. So sometimes, you don't gel, right? So what we try to find in the GDPI is how good would you be when you are working in a team. So that is the first level of understanding a candidate. Okay, now there are some variations to the GD. I'll talk about them. Now, the first variation which has been quite popular over the past few years in some colleges are doing is they have moved to the case study method now. See, earlier during our times and all, when I wrote CAT, that was long time back. Now, in those days and all, it was very common to have a single topic. For example, grass is green, or maybe India should do something, and that was one topic, a little controversial topic, so that you can have both sides of the story. That's how these GDs used to happen. But now what we are noticing is most colleges many colleges have moved to the case study methodology, where you'll be given a small case, maybe half page or maybe 1 page, and the entire case study, the discussion will be based on the case analysis. So there, we also get a feel of your team skills, as well as your communication skills, and your ability to analyze whatever is given to you on the spot. Okay. Now, one more variation which I was talking about is, which I've seen in some colleges, they might show you some video, one short video, maybe 2 minutes. They'll pause the video with a question, which is based on what you have seen in the video, and the discussion has to start from there. Okay. So it is very, you have to be very, very fast and quick in grasping what is shown to you. So those days are gone where you can actually go prepared completely for a GD. That is gone now. And the other thing which is important about GD is, see, now that you will get calls, there's no doubt about that. You guys will have to be prepared about what is happening in the world around you. Okay. Sometimes these case studies are, or the topics sometimes, are revolved around what is happening in the world around you. And in case you've not been reading, you've not been updating your general knowledge, you'll be completely left out. Okay. In some colleges, GD is used as a filtering mechanism, which means if you don't clear the GD, you're out of the process. But in many colleges, GD and PI, these are cumulative scores. Okay. So which college follows what method, that will change over the years and on. Okay. So do not take the GD too lightly. So in order to crack the GD, it is a good idea to read a lot. And when I say read, I'm not asking you to go and buy a newspaper and buy that. No, don't do that. At least download some app which carries the daily news and just go through it. Some of the things that are happening in the world around us. So then you'll also feel confident to talk about it. Okay. So that is my perspective on the GD. Okay. And in some cases, what I've seen is at the end of the GD, you're asked to make a summary of the discussion. Now there students go wrong because that is about written communication skills. When they say summarize the discussion, people start giving their own points. That is not what they're looking for. They're looking for a summary of the discussion that happened. Okay. So that is also very important. Now coming back to the actual GD, now how do we assess your team skills, your leadership skills and all? Now many people might tell you, if you talk the most, you're through, but that is not true. Because what we want to see is how good a speaker you are and how good a chance you're giving to the others around you. Okay, right? And how logical you are. And if you show a lot of aggressive behavior and all that, then that is a very, very negative kind of presentation for you. So one needs to be careful for that as well. Okay, but I'm sure you would have gone through some mock GDs and all, so you're aware of what I'm talking. But these are some basic tips I can give you. That is, we have an analytical mindset and try to analyze whatever you read, because see, now direct questions are gone now. Whatever will be based on some kind of analysis. Okay, so develop that mindset, read a lot, and use the current affairs, what is happening in the world, and I think that should take care of your GD problem. Okay. Now coming to the PI, that is the second crucial part of the process. See, first thing that we would like to look in a student is the communication skill. Okay, right? Now, like it or not like it, say the business language is English, right? Now some people are lucky if they have studied in an English medium school, so they do not find the problem there. But if somebody has a problem, then I think it is time to correct it now. So start talking to yourself in English with people around you and try to talk to them. Make it a point that from now on till your GDPI, at least you'll not talk in a vernacular language. Try to talk in English. That will give you confidence. Okay. Next, from the communication skills, I'll move on to a very important area, that is whether you are a learner or not. Okay, because see, management is not like people have this false dream. I get into a good MBA college, I walk out with a 1 crore package and all that. Okay, that happens, but doesn't happen to everybody, right? So you have to fight for it. It's a big task, right? So for us also, being a part of Welingkar, for most other colleges, placement is a very important job, right? Because we have to ensure that our students get placed, right? Because we are also in the business of education, and unfortunately or fortunately, one of the yardsticks for measuring the success of a WeSchool is now the placements, right? So companies will come, a lot of companies come. We are also doing very good on the placements, but at the end of every year, we find, there is a small percentage, maybe 5 to 6% who don't get placed, despite attempting maybe 20 interviews and all, still they don't get placed. Okay. So that is true in any college. Nobody can give a guarantee on the placement, right? So for that, we have to ensure that the students whom we are picking, right, they should be learners. I mean, they should have that, that curiosity for learning. So how do we identify that? So let me tell you a small tip, maybe if you can take it that way. See, I'm sure some of you are engineers here, right? And probably you did engineering not because you wanted it, but maybe somebody else told you, or maybe, you wanted to join the herd and you went and did engineering. After 2 years, you realize that this is not what I want to do, right? So that is okay. I mean, perfectly fine. But then somehow you completed the course and you were not very serious, but you completed the course, okay? Because then you thought I'll take a management career and move forward. Fine, perfectly fine. But unfortunately, what happens is, as an interviewer, see, I don't know you personally, right? So I know you only through your application form. Now, in the application form, I'll see that you are, let's say, an engineer, okay? And I'm also an engineer. So it is a very natural, kind of nature of mine to start asking you questions on basic engineering. And then I find you don't know the basics of engineering because you were not serious. So that cuts a very solid picture. Okay. The same thing, it again depends a lot on who is sitting on the other side of the table. Now, if somebody has a commerce background, okay, and the person on the other side is a chartered accountant, and it is not able to answer some very, very basic questions on accountancy, on assets and liabilities and all, that really cuts a very sorry picture, So that gives the impression that you've not been serious about your academics and you're not serious about academics at all. Okay. So that is something which you guys have to be very careful about. So what I would suggest is brush up a bit on the basics of what you have done, in your graduation. Okay. I'm not asking you to go into in-depth and all that. Maybe like, for example, the typical question would be like, okay, tell me, you have done commerce, right? BCom you have done. Tell me, what did you like in accounting? So maybe pick out one area which you are comfortable with and then do a bit more, a bit of brushing up on those areas. Because these are the kind of traps that interviewers tend to put you into. Okay. They'll only ask you, what is it that you like? You'll mention some topic and then they'll keep on hovering around that particular topic. Okay. So that is something you need to be very, very careful about. And remember, the interviewers who are there are people with extreme kind of experience. They have been in the field for n number of years, and their knowledge goes beyond their, what they have learned in college and all. Okay, right? So that is one thing which you guys will need to be careful about. Please revise whatever the basics. Again, I'm not getting into the depth. That's the basics. That should be good enough. Okay, that is one. The other thing, which is a very common mistake, which we have been observing over the past 2-3 years. See, when people fill up the application forms, right? You have to fill up the SOP, right? Statement of purpose. Why you want to do an MBA, right? Now, earlier, you used to ask somebody, please write for me, and they would write. But now we have got a great friend called ChatGPT, right? So you'll ask ChatGPT, why should I do MBA? ChatGPT will give you a beautiful answer. And you will copy paste without even reading what is there. See, guys, that is not the way to do it, okay? See, ChatGPT is good. We also use it. But please understand, ChatGPT can only be an assistant for you. It cannot be your master. It cannot decide for you why you're doing an MBA, right? So if you find that your SOP is completely copied from Chat, which is easy for us to find out. Like I'll give you an example. Last year this happened. If you ask a question to ChatGPT politely, can you answer this for me? ChatGPT will answer it. Certainly, I can do it for you. So one of the application that we received, full of certainly. So it was very obvious a guy had copied from ChatGPT. And it was beautiful English. When I talked to him, he couldn't even, complete one sentence in English, right? So please be very careful when you use these Gen AIs, okay? Maybe Gemini or ChatGPT or Claude or whatever, okay? So you should have a very clear purpose as to why you're doing it. See, the fact is you're doing it because you want money. Nothing wrong in that, but you should not sound like a mercenary. You should have some, please think over it. What could be a good answer? Why you're doing it? What is it that attracts you to a course like that? Okay. So I think these are some general tips which, if you follow, it should take you into the next level. Okay. Yes, Srikanth.
Yeah. So you have, I think, touched upon many points. GD, personal interview, and then the application process, right? So one change that we are observing these days is that most of the institutes are doing away with GD and replacing that with VAT, written ability test, right? So I think most of the top IIMs, they are.
I didn't get the last part. What you're saying, right?
Yeah, VAT.
Written ability test. Written ability test. Okay. See, again, that again depends from college to college. Okay, college to college, because there is one school of thought which says that GD does not really, group discussion don't really bring out the team skills or the leadership qualities. So again, it depends on which college students are applying to, right? Now, coming back to that written ability test, the VAT, right? Now, that is also very important because we find, I'm sharing with you, of late, what we are finding is maybe over the past decade, we're finding that students are less and less reading, reading and writing less. So if you remember when we were in school, we were taught how to write letters. There used to be like salutations, and then at the end, thank you, sincerely, all that we learned in school, and we follow that now also. But now, even when students, even now also, when they write us mails, there is no salutation. Okay. So one mail will be there. I'm not coming tomorrow. Grant me attendance. Okay. I mean, what is that? I mean, grant me leave. And there is no salutation, nothing like that. Now, these things will be tested in the VAT. Okay. Because business communication is also extremely important. Because if you do not maintain the right protocol while writing a business letter, right, it can end up in you losing the business completely. The client will leave you. So that is why colleges are also, because see, again, the reason why again VAT has become important is nowadays when we come to placements, which comes at the end of the 2 years, many companies are not directly coming for the interviews. They are having an elimination round. They're calling it a psychometric test. They're calling it as, this kind of written test. So based on these tests, which are kind of filtering tests, you don't clear it, you're out. So that they don't have to interview a large number of people. So if in a pool there are 100 students, they'll bring it down to 10 students. So that is why this the written ability test is also extremely important. Okay. So again, how do you improve it? See, overnight you can't do it. I mean, that's a fact. If you have been reading a lot since your childhood, writing a lot, maybe it becomes easy for you. But even now, it is not too late. Get into the habit of writing. At least try to avoid all those WhatsApp kind of spellings and all, like HRU, right? How are you? Try to avoid all that and try, just try to think of a small scenario and maybe just make a small write up on that. Okay, using proper English, proper punctuation, proper grammar, proper spelling, because these things matter. Because when these sheets come to me, we take a red pen and wherever we find, we keep marking them. And then for all those mistakes, minus up, minus up, minus up. And you may, of course, we cannot give minus marks there. If you have 5 marks, it can come down to 0 because you made so many errors and all that. Okay. So that is one point about the WAC.
Okay. So you have mentioned about PI, right? How you are going to evaluate a candidate during PI. So does that depend on the work experience of the candidate? Let's say, does a candidate having 3 years of work experience, will questions about their graduation be asked to that candidate?
Okay. Good. Very good question. Okay. It's a very good question. Okay. First of all, see, again, like I said, we don't know the candidates personally. Okay. And those application forms come to us in the last minute. It's not like we get it one day in advance. So we are sitting in the PI room and maybe 10 minutes before the interview, one set of documents will come to me and quickly I'll browse through the candidate's application, right? So my only way of knowing about the candidate is through what is written in that application form, okay, right? Or we have a small CV or whatever you want to call it. Now, yes, there will be a difference in the kind of questions because if a fresher comes, right, it will be more on the academic side, what you have done in the graduation and undergraduation and all those things. Now, if you come with a work experience, normally the discussion hovers around the work, what kind of work, what kind of projects, what kind of learnings, what kind of takeaways, then situation based, for example, tell us a situation where, you found it very difficult to crack the client. The client was very tough, but you were able to break him and you were able to go and get the work order. Okay. So yeah, there will be a difference in the kind of questions, yes. Yeah, you're on mute, Shrikant. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So let's try to see about Welingkar, right? So you have different kinds of programs at Welingkar. So can you explain the programs at Welingkar and
I'll talk about my college. See, we are a very old college. In fact, we belong to the SP Mandali Trust in Pune, okay, which was set up in 1888. So 36 years, I think we completed this year. So SP Mandali runs 43 institutions across Maharashtra and one in Karnataka. Okay. Now the flagship, a lot of flagship colleges like the Poddar College in Bombay, Ruya College and all. So Welingkar in Mumbai was set up in 77 and in Bangalore we set up in 2008. Okay. Now we run total 8 PGDM programs. So just to name them, one is the core PGDM program. Then we have a PGDM in e-business, which I am heading in Bangalore. We have in research and business analytics. We have in business design, a very unique program. Then we have in retail management. rural management, healthcare management, and then we have in media and communication. Okay, so these are the 8 programs that we offer. Now, all these 8 programs are available in Mumbai. In Bangalore, we run 4 of them. It should be your PGDM code, e-business, business design innovation, and research in business analytics. So that is how we do. We have a smaller campus, so we offer only these 4 programs here. The first thing which we need to understand is, see, all these programs are management programs. Okay. So although they are specialized into different zones, but they are like any other management programs. If PGDM code you can understand, yes, that is a management program. But when I say e-business, right? So what am I doing there? What I'm doing there is, it is a management program, but the graduate of the program will be suited, very well suited for the IT industry. Like for example, despite all the slowdown, whatever is happening in the world, almost 70% of our placements in Bangalore campus is happening in the IT companies. Okay. Right. So even now, also the other day, I think we crossed the 55%. And although we have time till April, but we have not yet entered January, 55% of our placements are over. Okay. Then if we talk about research and business analytics, again, it's a management program where you'll have all the specializations, marketing, finance, operations, HR. Plus, you will have a dose of analytics built into it. So you can move into the field of data analytics in an operational role. Okay. You can become, let's say in the EBIS program, you can become a marketing, a person from a marketing vertical in a company like Infosys or Wipro. Okay. So that is how we have designed the program. It's a very unique programs, and we're running very successfully over the last many years. And yeah, that's it. So if you want to talk specifically about the business program, now many people tend to think, should I be an engineer to do this program? My answer is a no. All you need is a flair for technology, which means that you should have a love for technology. You should be able to understand, how technology can be applied in the business world. For example, say engineers, they will design maybe a technology called as blockchain, right? But where do we apply it? We apply it in supply chain. We apply it in the banking sector. We apply it in the crypto area. We apply it in something called as smart contracts. We apply it in, let's say managing a lot of data in terms of, let's say, if you want to understand that there is a land, right? So land records that can get into the entire blockchain, right? So we look at the application side of technology. That is where our skill set lies. Okay. So do not get confused by all these specializations. These are all management programs with the additional dose of technology, analytics, retail built into the entire program.
So if I'm a student looking for admission, right, and if an institute offers multiple specializations, and what should be my thought process in evaluating these specializations, and which of the programs should one apply for?
See, it depends on your interest. Okay, now if you're a person who doesn't like technology, right, so then probably you should not even look at e-business. Or if you're a person who hates numbers, you get nervous when you see numbers, analytics may not be the program for you. Okay. So these are the basic level of filtration that people have to use. Now, apart from that, if you have even a little, see, that's what, it might sound very strange, but I've had students with a from arts background in commerce, who are doing extremely well. I always give one example of our student who graduated a few years back. He was from a BCom field, okay, but he had a lot of love for technology. And today he's in IBM, he's sitting in London, and he's an assistant director, and he's doing a fantastic job. So coming from a pure commerce background, he's an assistant director in a company like IIM based in London. So that is a level of growth which students can get if you have that flair for technology. Okay.
Okay.
And then, of course, if we talk about the other specializations like HR, which are offered across the programs, then that decision you should not take now. That should come once you complete your first year. Okay? Because in the first year, you will get exposed to all the basics of all these specializations like HR, marketing, operations, and finance. And then you go for an internship. And it is around that time only when you will actually get to understand what is it that, you think is a good fit for you. Okay? Yeah.
So we have one question coming in, which is saying, does gap year affect on selection? I'm planning to reattempt.
Okay.
I think we are seeing this.
That's a very common problem which we feel, right? Okay.
Correct.
See, let me be honest about this. See, a very long gap year, which cannot be justified, is taken as a negative mark. Now, why I'll tell you. See, again, we want students who are serious about their lives, about their careers, and all that. Now, maybe if you have 1 or 2 years gap years, you can still justify. You can say, I was trying for IAS, I was trying for UPSC, that and all is fine. Okay. But if you tell me that last 7 years I've been writing CAT and doing nothing, that doesn't cut ice with me. Okay. So up to maybe 2 years, it should be all right, provided you have a strong justification. Or even if if you say that in the last 5 years, I've tried my hand at starting a company, I failed, that is also okay, right? Or I tried something like sports journalism, I did something different. These kind of things are okay. All we want to see is that you have not wasted your life, okay? But if you show me 7 years of gap and there is nothing to justify those 7 years, then that is a problem. But I think up to 2 years, it should not be a problem. But please, whoever asked this question, and for the benefit of everybody, I'll tell you, please come prepared with a very, very strong, convincing answer. That why do you have that gap? Yeah.
Okay. So we have observed that students generally take a drop or something, right, for preparing for CAT. So if I don't get a good, so what happens is, like, let's say students join their work in August or September, they realize that the work and CAT can't go. They are not able to take out time for CAT. So they quit their job in CAT for CAT, right? And by the time the results come, they are out of the job. So this dilemma is what students face. Should I join back the job, or like should I take this year drop and then continue with CAT preparation? Let's say give it a good
See,
try.
again, this is a question which I cannot answer in general. A lot depends on your own financial situation as well, right? Because see, as far as I was concerned, I was working when I was working. Right now I'm in Bangalore. In those days, I was working in Delhi, and I was not in a position where I could quit my job and sit at home and study. So I had to manage both, work and preparation. Everything I had to manage. Okay, so it all depends on the financial situation, right? So you cannot really have a general answer for this, right? But again, see, like how many times will you write CAT? I'll say one first attempt is always the best attempt. Maybe a second attempt is also okay. Okay. And maybe a third attempt, but if you go on writing CAT forever, then it doesn't make sense at all. Right? Because please understand, it's a competitive exam and all of you are brilliant, no doubt about that. But then the number of seats are so less that they have to use very, very strong, filtering mechanisms to get the cream of the cream into the colleges, right? So that is the difficulty that we have. But that doesn't mean that you guys are not good or something like that, right? And one more thing, I can vouch for this. See, if you go, forget the IIMs, okay? Like if you take the top rung, ABC, look at the ABC, for example, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, and Calcutta, they're still taken as the top, okay? At the next level, we have I and K, right? It started in 96, right? And in between L also came, Lucknow also came. So these are regarded as the topmost. Then came Shillong, and now we have a host of them. I think some 22, 23 are there now, right? Now, I mean, I'm not going to accept that, maybe an IIM X is as good as an IIMA. Okay, I cannot accept that because see, it will take time, right? You have to establish your credentials in terms of your faculty, in terms of your placements and all that. So it takes many number of years to settle down, right? So now, my advice would be, if you don't crack, okay, in the first attempt, and you are fairly confident that in the second attempt you might be able to better it, maybe that 1 year gap might be okay, might be. But if you have other pressures on you, financial pressures and all those kind of things, consider other colleges also, because you look at the next rung of colleges, they are excellent ones. Maybe I'll give you a few names. I mean, although they are not competitors, SP Jain, for example, or you see Narsi Munji, you see Welingkar, you see Symbiosis, or you talk about TAPME or Loyola, Great Lakes. These are very, very good colleges. And all of these colleges, they get excellent placements. Right? And after a few years, it doesn't really matter from where you graduated, because ultimately what is going to matter is what performance you're doing at your job. So that will come at a later phase, right? But of course, starting it does make a difference, because the companies who go to different colleges, they have different packages. Okay. So this is a call you have to take yourself, whether you want to continue with the drop, try for one more time, or you want to continue working. Okay.
Okay. So you have mentioned about uh, let's say the new IIMs, baby IIMs, or other colleges, right? So between let's say, should one go for the tag of IIM or should they select the college which are
See,
similarly
this is a
ranked?
very dicey question. Okay, this is a trap question. But again, see, like I said, the new IIMs will take time, okay, to establish. And especially, I'll tell you the problem with a lot of these new IIMs. I mean, see, first of all, a good management school is one which has good faculty and also has got excellent corporate connects. So that way, if I see, maybe a college in Pune or let's say Bombay or Chennai or Bangalore or Hyderabad, they have fantastic industry connections because see, I mean, it's all close by, right? So, like in my case, we have this college in a place called Electronic City, the Silicon Valley of India. So we get a lot of guest speakers from these industries who come and interact with our students. So that is a very good learning because see, we as academicians can only teach this much, but they are the ones who are actually doing it on field. So they come and share their experiences. So I am sure this is for any of these cities that I mentioned. You can get faculty from these, industry people to come and, at the drop of a hat, they can come and meet the students. But the problem with many of the other new institutes are they are in locations where I think it's a bit difficult to get industry people because, as you know, currently, if you look at the Indian whole industry setup, the concentration is mainly in Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, a bit in Haryana, Gurgaon side, then the NCR, basically NCR belt and all. So most of the work is happening in that zone only. So rest of the country, I know, that kind of industries are not flourishing. Right? Okay. So what happens is, if you are in a place, which is a bit remote and which is a bit far away from the kind of the big cities, it becomes a bit difficult to get industry speakers to come and interact. Of course, in these days, with all these online facilities there, it is possible. It's not impossible. But again, I feel, if you have that physical connect, when the person comes, and if you're physically interacting, I think that is much, much stronger than just an online session. It just becomes another session. So that is my take. But of course, eventually, see, I mean, these are all brands. IIM is a brand, right? So it takes time. But over the years, yes. So if you join a new IIM now, maybe you may not get that value at this point, but later on, some point in life, this will definitely come back to you. Because the brand is very important, right? But again, like I said, if you're not willing to wait for the next year or something like that, try the second run colleges. They're equally good. They're very, very good.
So let's get back to Welingkar, right? So what is the admission process like at Welingkar, and what are the deadlines for each of those processes?
Shiva, see, I have my marketing guy. I think he's joined on YouTube. Shiva, are you able to hear me? Can you just make him join the show then? Because he's the one who will be able to give all the details. Because I don't handle the admission as such, but I can give you some general ideas. I can give you, right? See, if you look at the intake, I can give you the in Bangalore we have a total intake of 270. Now, the breakup is like this: 120 for the e-business program, 60 for PGDM core, 60 for research and business analytics, and 30 for the business design and innovation. Okay. Now, moving to the Mumbai side, e-business and the PGDM, they've got 120 seats each. So most of the programs have 60 and some have 30. So all those breakups will be available on the website. Right? So then again, we have GAP, we call it as GAP, a group activity and personal interview. Okay? So this year, the final orders have not been passed from our trust, but last year we had these GAPIs in various centers across the country. I'll tell you what they were. We had in Mumbai twice, Bangalore twice, Delhi twice we had. Then we had once in Indore and once in Kolkata. So these are the cities we had covered. So basically, that we covered the north, south, east, west, and also the heart around Indore. That's time we covered. Now, one more thing which I like to mention now is, see, this CMAT exam is, Shiva is there, right? So Shiva is our
Hello, sir.
Marketing manager. So Shiva, why don't you, throw some light on the admission process, get the cutoffs and all that?
Yes, sir. See, the first thing I'd like to mention about the admission process is the eligibility criteria. What we look at is minimum 50% in the graduation from a recognized university, and we accept CADs at ATMA, CMAT, and GMAT. So cutoffs would be like, we have categorized these entrance exams into two. One is like CAT, ZAT, GMAT. The percentiles would be 75 for Bangalore and 80 for Mumbai. CMAT and ATMA, it would be 80 for Bangalore and 85 for Mumbai. There are some programs like business design and innovation, healthcare management, and rural management. We are looking at 70 percentile across all these entrance exams. So I repeat, we accept CAT, ZAT, ATMA, CMAT, and GMAT.
Okay.
Shiva, can you talk about the deadlines also? Okay, like now I think that
the deadline would be, we'll be closing our applications on 15th of Jan, sir.
Okay.
January 15th, yes, we are closing with our applications. Yes.
Are the applications open right now?
Right now, the applications are open. Students can fill the form and submit it. In fact, I have shared you the link, which you can put it in the chat. Yeah, they can fill the form right now. And then if they have any queries, our contact numbers are mentioned. They can get in touch in case if they need some support while filling up the application form, and if they have any confusion while choosing up the right program, all those things. Any questions, if they have any confusion while filling up the form, yes, we are happy to assist them. All our numbers are there.
Great. Yeah, thank you.
And one more thing I'll add here. You don't need to, buy two separate application forms for Mumbai and Bangalore.
Yes.
It's a common admission process. So in that one application form, you can give your choices. For example,
Yes.
you can choose. Say, I want my first preference is PGDM Mumbai. Second is PGDM Bangalore. Third is EBIS Bangalore. Fourth is RBA Mumbai. So you can choose like that. Okay. I think up to 8 or 9 choices you can make.
Yes, sir.
I mean,
Yes. See,
yeah.
the students can choose minimum 5 programs of Mumbai campus and 4 programs of Bangalore campus. It is like this: 9 programs, 2 campuses, one a single application, and 1 common selection process.
Great. I think that reduces the pressure on the students also.
Yes, and then we
because
don't
I
charge
believe
any separate fees for separate campus, or maybe
Correct,
if you keep
Like
on
some
adding.
colleges,
Yes,
some
we
colleges
don't
do
add
that.
any
For
extra
the
amount for extra programs as such. It is like 9 programs they can choose for in both the campuses. As I said, 5 from Mumbai, 4 from Bangalore. Yes.
Great. Yeah. So let's continue our discussion on application process, right, sir? So if I'm a student looking to apply for Welingkar, right, what should be my profile like, and what should I mention in the application?
I think I already gave you some hints as to how you should do it. I can tell you what not to do. Do not copy from ChatGPT. Please have your own statement of purpose. Please be you. Please don't try to be somebody else. We don't want an ideal candidate. We want you as a candidate, and not as somebody who's that the ideal candidate. That's not what it is. Because honesty also plays a lot of important role in business, right? Okay. So regarding profile, okay. See, there was a time when a lot of management schools were preferring engineering graduates, but I think those days are gone now. Okay. Like now, in fact, we also prefer a lot of diversity in terms of gender, in terms of cities. Like for example, again, although from the Bangalore campus, it will be very, you'll be surprised to know this. The minimum intake we have is from Karnataka state. Okay. So our students, the big lot we have from Maharashtra, we have from NCR region, from Rajasthan, UP, Uttarakhand, within Bengal side, Orissa side, and all. So we have a lot of people coming from these cities to these states to the Bangalore campus. So diversity, and also diversity in terms of education, because we are not hell-bent that you should have this degree or not. We want diversity. So I have had as diverse students, like students who have done their graduation undergrad in biotech, who's a lawyer, Then we have had students who are chartered accountants. Then we had a dentist once, a dentist has come and done. So his logic was, I don't want to practice dentistry by doing whatever dentist does. I want to be on the business side of dentistry, which means I want to run a business on dentistry. But because I'm a dentist, I will know the dentistry better than anybody else in that field, right? So diversity is very important. So like that, there is no special requirement for a profile, right? Of course, we want the best, no doubt. So if you can clear the minimum eligibility and all that, you should be in the race. Shouldn't be a problem.
Okay. So, what is your advice, like, to students to build a strong profile? Like, let's say I'm
See, if you
starting
don't have
now.
work experience, you don't have work experience. It's okay. That's it. I mean, you can't fake it, right? Now, people tend to do that, to make their profiles more impressive. They come with, 2 years. They show 2 years work experience, and where have they worked? They worked in their mama's clothes shop. See, that is not taken as a work experience. For us and for corporates also going ahead, if you say you have work experience, then you will need to produce the salary certificate, the bank statement which shows the salary has been credited. You need to have a PF number. Okay. You need to have an appointment letter and a relieving letter. So all those things are very, very important. Only these things will establish the fact that you have got work experience. If you try to fake it and then nobody will actually it. Okay. So that is one. So don't fake an profile. So what you can do probably is, you can try to get some good certification, because there's, a lot of online stuff is available, right? But again, it is not binding on you, right? But if you can show some good certifications, then probably it will give the interviewer a feel that yes, you're a person who's very curious about new things, and you do things beyond your normal field of knowledge. For example, let's say if you've done a BCom, but you play the sitar, right? So that would be a very, very good candidate for me. So somebody who's got interest in other diverse areas and all that. Right? And try to be as honest as possible, because if you try to bluff too much, it will be very, very evident. Okay. Yeah,
Sure,
I
sure.
think that's it. So no restriction on the profile as such.
Yeah, I think you have shared some real good insights from the faculty side of this equation, right? So I think these insights will be very helpful for the students. And are there any end remarks that you want to add for the students?
See, one remark is, life does not start here, life does not end here. Because see, if I look at my time and all that, see, we had very limited scope for doing anything in life. For it was like I grew up in Calcutta, Bengal. Now it is Kolkata. So there it was like either you're a doctor, you're an engineer, or you're dead. Okay, it's like that. It used to be like that. So all of us were pushed, and we were pushed really hard to go for either engineering or medical and all that. And that time software was not there, right? I'm talking of the 70s and 80s and all that. But then now, if you look at today's world, right, I mean, the number of opportunities are immense. So there is no dearth of opportunities. It's only that we lack the ability or the interest to go and crack something new. So it is good. Definitely, management is a very, very good field, because it takes you one level up as compared to your peers, right? Because now, just to give an example again, when I go for the interviews, I see a lot of students who are working in the IT industry. And then I ask them, you're already working in such a great company, like one of the top level companies of the world. Now, why you want to now quit your job and you want to do an MBA? Why you want to take a career break now? So what they say is, there's a lot of crowd at the bottom, right? That means at that level, we have a lot of people fighting it out. So MBA will help me to grab the escalator. It's like an escalator to go up faster, right? Others will take the ladder, but probably, if I do an MBA, I can quickly rise. And that happens. Like a person who has left Infosys as a developer will join an Accenture at maybe 3 times the salary he was drawing, right? So that is the value add which you get. Okay. So I think these are the few remarks. And also one more thing, a lot of colleges, they try to, kind of hoodwink, I use the word of hoodwink students by talking only about the placement records and all. But see, one thing about placements, I'll tell you guys. See, placement is not a right, okay? It's a privilege. Now, all colleges will do it because it is a mandate. But nobody gives it to you free of cost. The general feeling which I have got, even from parents when they come to meet us, okay, now on the day one, when we ask them, you have any questions? The first question is, how much salary will my daughter get? And that is like, putting a cart before a horse, right? What is the sequence here? First you put the horse, then you put the cart, right? And only then when the horse moves, the cart can move. You're doing the ulta now, right? So instead of asking, what will my daughter study? Your first question is how much salary she'll get. See, you have to understand, jobs will be there, and that is a given. It has to be there. But not everyone will make it to the top. Okay. Because you are studying, your lessons, learnings don't end here at the GDPI and all that. You have to really work hard to be in the top list to get into the top companies. See, every year we have this. We have one group of students who are damn serious about the career. They'll keep, whatever we tell them, they keep doing. And one gang will be there who just have to come, who come to Bangalore to have fun. And then at the end of 2 years, when the placement season happens, then we get to see the reality. The guys who were serious are already placed in top companies. You name them: Deloitte, KPMG, Oracle, Infosys, Accenture. They're all placed. And these people whom we kind of pleaded, guys, get serious about your life, are now struggling. So they're coming and saying, "Sir, itna loan hai mera. Abhi to mera placement hua nahi hai. Abhi kya karenge?" But we are still fighting. I mean, we still have time till April. May we have time. We will do something. But what I'm saying is, unless you put in the effort, the result will not come. So I think that is what I would tell you, because it's a very, very difficult, 2 years that you guys are going to experience. Okay? Yeah.
Sure, sir. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. I think it was a wonderful session.
And thank you, Srikanth. I think it is always nice to talk to the students, because I like to share my experiences, and I hope it was useful, and they've got some insight into what they should be doing going forward. Okay. So I wish all of you the very best, and hope all of you get your dream colleges and your dream jobs and your dream life. And thank you, Shiva. Bye-bye.